Now that Season 1 of Dandadan has wrapped up, I'm thinking of diving into the next big arc, Cursed House arc. This arc is packed with insane battles and a lot of emotional moments, so I'm really excited to break it down. It's one of those arcs that keeps you on the edge of your seat, with every fight more intense than the last. The stakes get higher and the characters get pushed to their limits, making it a perfect follow-up for all the action and drama we saw in the first season. If you thought Season 1 was crazy, just wait till we dive into this one. Anyway, before we continue, please press the like button and please subscribe to my channel and turn on all post notifications so you don't miss any daily uploads. So before I start, spoiler warning. Now, let's start. I'll continue where the anime left off. At the hot springs, Momo's relaxing moment is ruined when some men from the Kido family show up with bad intentions. Momo tries to fight back using her powers, but one of them restrains her arms. Just when things seem hopeless, the walls of the hot springs collapse on the men, saving her. Turns out, Turbo Granny had been hiding in Momo's bag and decided to sneak into the hot springs for her own fun. The men are chased away by the locals, and Momo leaves, hoping they get arrested. Turbo Granny then casually mentions that Gigi's house is soaked in blood. Later, Momo visits the Tsushinoko shrine, where a strange priest shows her some of the creature's shed skin. He explains the village's dark history of sacrificing humans to the Tsushinoko to stop the nearby volcano from erupting. Back at Gigi's house, the female members of the Kido family settle in and their leader questions Gigi about why he disappeared recently. She asks if he plans to bring more spirit mediums to the house. Gigi claims the mediums he hired were frauds and says he left only to invite Okarun over, but his story starts to fall apart. The men from the hot springs return, escorted by Officer Turu, who bailed them out of trouble. One of them confronts Gigi, asking who Okarun is. Gigi says Okarun is his friend, but the man tests him by asking Okarun to name Gigi's favorite soccer team. Okarun luckily guesses right by looking at a poster Gigi used to cover the hole in the wall. However, the Kido family's leader realizes Gigi lied about not bringing a girl to the house. Her trust in him starts to crumble. When Momo gets back to the house, she finds Okarun and Gigi badly beaten by the Kido family. The family then turns on her, but she fights back, only to be knocked into the hidden room by their leader. Inside, Momo learns the Kido family has been sacrificing humans to the Tsushinoko for 200 years, Gigi's parents included. Now they're planning to sacrifice Momo and her friends. As Momo tries to escape, the room begins to pull her in like quicksand. Before she can get out, the Kido family stops her. Meanwhile, Okarun and Gigi regain consciousness, push the Kido family into the room, and try to save Momo. But all of them are dragged down into a creepy underground lair filled with sacrificial houses where the Tsushinoko lives. The creature, which Okarun and Turbo Granny identify as a Mongolian deathworm, goes on a rampage, swallowing the Kido family despite their worship. Momo, Okarun, and Gigi try hiding, but things take a dark turn when the Tsushinoko's psychic waves start making Momo and Okarun feel like ending their own lives. Gigi, for some reason, isn't affected, so he tries to stop them while avoiding the worm's attacks. Just as the Tsushinoko spots Gigi, the evil spirit haunting him shows up. This breaks Momo and Okarun free from the psychic waves. Turbo Granny then reveals the spirit is the Evil Eye, a yokai that curses people to suicide with its gaze. While the Evil Eye and Tsushinoko clash, Okarun uses his Turbo Granny powers to attack the worm, but even after beheading it, the creature regenerates and starts chasing Momo and Gigi again. As Gigi runs, he asks the Evil Eye if it caused his parents' attempted suicide. In response, the spirit locks eyes with Gigi, showing him its memories from when it was alive. Momo tries to pull the Evil Eye away, but Gigi stops her, insisting the spirit is just a victim. Ignoring Turbo Granny's warning to stay away, Gigi heads deeper into the lair, determined to help the Evil Eye. Meanwhile, Okarun struggles to hold off the worm, but it shifts its attention back to Momo, Gigi, and Turbo Granny. The worm traps them with its sticky phlegm and shocks them with electricity, leaving Momo powerless to act as Gigi suddenly screams in agony. Just as the Tsushinoko lunges to devour them, Gigi punches it away, but it's clear something's wrong. It turns out the Evil Eye has taken control of Gigi's body. Gigi agreed in his subconscious to play with the yokai, who now plans to use him as a vessel to wipe out humanity. The Turbo Granny warns Momo to prepare her powers, but before she can act, the evil eye kicks her into a wall and traps her there. He then creates a barrier using the grudges of the sacrifices, blocking the Tsuchinoko's electricity, and forces the creature to retreat underground with an attack. The Turbo Granny explains that Gigi has immense spiritual energy, which is why the evil eye possessed him. She tells Momo to be ready to defend herself, but before the evil eye can attack her, Okarun shows up and blocks it. Furious at what the evil eye did to Momo, Okarun picks her up and carries her to the top of the lair. Okarun tells Momo they need to escape because the Tsuchinoko is releasing venom into the air. The only way to kill it is by getting it into sunlight. He promises to hold off the evil eye while she escapes. Momo doesn't want to leave him behind, but agrees after he convinces her to trust him and come back for him later. Okarun launches her to the surface, staying behind to face the evil eye in a one-on-one fight. While trying to help Okarun, Momo remembers a lesson from her childhood with Gigi and sets the house on fire to force the Tsuchinoko out. Meanwhile, Okarun struggles in his fight against the evil eye. The Tsuchinoko's poison starts affecting Gigi's body, so the evil eye traps Okarun in a cursed house to finish him off with a brutal series of punches. The evil eye taunts Okarun, saying Momo is next on his list. Enraged, Okarun grabs the evil eye's face, tells him off for harming Momo and using Gigi's body, and counters with a series of squat punches. His final punch knocks the evil eye unconscious, throwing him out of the cursed house. Exhausted, Okarun tries to figure out how to escape, but hears the Turbo Granny screaming for help. She's stuck in the Tsuchinoko sticky trap. Okarun goes to save her but ends up getting trapped as well. The two start yelling for Momo to come back and rescue them. Outside, Momo is detained by the police for starting the fire. She yells at the firefighters to soak the ground before sunset. As the ground shakes, the Tsuchinoko bursts out, terrifying everyone. Because the water forces it out of the earth, it's now exposed to sunlight, which begins to dry it up. Momo recalls Gigi's childhood lesson about worms and their weakness to sunlight. Seeing the Tsuchinoko trying to hide behind the burning house, Momo uses her psychic powers to hurl a fire truck at both the house and the worm. The house collapses, fully exposing the Tsuchinoko to the sun's rays, killing it for good. Momo checks to see if the Tsuchinoko is really dead, but suddenly it vomits out the Kido family, leaving her completely shocked to see they're still alive. The head of the Kido family immediately blames Momo for killing the Tsuchinoko, claiming its death will cause the village volcano to erupt as foretold in their prophecy. While the head recites the legend, Momo pieces it together and realizes they've misunderstood. The prophecy wasn't about the volcano, it was actually referring to the fountain at the hot springs. Without wasting time, Momo uses her powers to drag the Tsuchinoko's remains to the fountain. Once there, she plugs the fountain with the Tsuchinoko's body, using its tail like a hose to spray water across the forest and cool down the magma. Water starts flowing through the creature's mouth, washing out its mucus and preventing the disaster. Just as her plan starts working, the head Kido family member tries to stop her, furious that Momo is taking credit for saving the village while disrespecting the Tsuchinoko. Before they can get to her, the Tsuchinoko shrine priest Manjiro steps in to defend Momo. He reveals that he's actually a disciple of Siko. But the relief is short-lived. The evil eye escapes from the Tsuchinoko's lair and attacks, damaging the Tsuchinoko's remains. Momo, Manjiro, and the Kido family members are forced to work together to fight off the evil eye. Siko arrives just in time with the Dover demon, his son Chiquitita, and Taro to seal the evil eye inside an anatomical model. With the evil eye dealt with, Saiko announces it's time to leave. Meanwhile, Chiquitita uses the Dover Demon's UFO to continue spraying water on the lava with the Tsuchinoko's remains. Momo rushes back to the Tsuchinoko's lair to save Okarun, but is horrified to see the pit filled with lava. She panics, thinking she's too late. Then, with Chiquita's help, the UFO lifts a massive chunk of magma out of the lava and Momo tears it open. Inside, she finds Okarun and the Turbo Granny, who had survived by being protected in the Tsuchinoko's sticky flame. As Okarun accidentally falls onto her while she's helping him out, Momo pulls him into a hug. She tells him how relieved she is that he's alive, her voice breaking from all the chaos and fear she'd just been through. At the Aya's house, Seiko, Momo, and Manjiro try to exorcise the evil eye from Gigi, but it's no use. The yokai's grip on him is just too strong. Later at dinner, Era complains to Momo about not being invited to help with Gigi's rescue. She also questions why the Dover demon is back on Earth. The Dover demon explains that the cow he took to his planet couldn't produce milk, and since his son Chiquitita needs a steady supply of milk for his health, they've decided to stay on Earth. Meanwhile, Manjiro talks to Seiko about getting help from the Hayashi family for their next attempt at freeing Gigi. However, he worries about what might go wrong if they fail again. Suddenly, the group is shocked to hear Gigi's voice coming from Taro, the anatomical model. When they check, they find Gigi back to normal. Seiko quickly figures out what's going on. She realizes that the evil eye's curse can temporarily be broken if Gigi comes into contact with hot liquids like the Odin broth they were eating. However, the curse reactivates when he touches cold water. With this new discovery, Seiko comes up with a plan. She tells Taro to stay attached to Gigi to help suppress the curse until the protective barrier weakens. She also gives Momo and Okarun thermoses filled with hot water to use in case Gigi accidentally touches something cold. The next day, Seiko takes Gigi to visit his parents in the hospital. During the drive, Momo and Okarun have an awkward but sweet moment when their hands accidentally touch, making them both blush. Gigi, annoyed, interrupts to complain about how Taro won't listen to him and keeps sticking to his body. At the hospital, Gigi gets emotional seeing his parents again. Meanwhile, news spreads that the Kido family has been arrested. However, the head of the family, Naki Kido, manages to escape custody. She's shown revealing her true subterranean form and vowing revenge on Momo for destroying her plans with the Tsuchinoko. Anyway, please press the like button and please subscribe to my channel and turn on all post notifications so you don't miss any daily uploads. Momo meets up with Okarun on their way to school and tells him about the plan to bring in Heishi for the next attempt at exorcising the evil eye. Before she can ask him for a favor, her friends Miko and Muko show up, mentioning that Mantis Shrimp's UFO was in the news during the Daija Town incident. This makes Momo wonder if the Tsuchinoko was mentioned too. At school, Momo gathers Okarun and Era to talk about a backup plan. Era, feeling down because her friends and classmates are ignoring her after she admitted to spreading a false rumor about Momo, hesitates at first. Despite pretending to be against the idea of sleeping over at Momo's house, Era and Okarun eventually agree to help if Gigi accidentally triggers the curse. Back at the Aya's house, Gigi is finally allowed to move around without Taro sticking to him as the barrier's effects have worn off. Seiko warns him to be extra cautious around water. She also gives Momo, Okarun, and Era thermoses of hot water, just in case. Things seem fine until dinner. Gigi accidentally touches a drop of soy sauce, and just like that, the evil eye takes over again. One night, chaos breaks out at the ISE house again, after Gigi accidentally washes his hands with cold water, releasing the evil eye. Era is furious and scolds him for being so careless. Not long after, the Hayashi exorcists arrive to perform a ritual to get rid of the evil eye. But as the exorcism goes on, Gigi starts to understand the evil eye's pain and begs everyone to stop. He promises he can control it and asks them to spare the yokai. Seiko agrees to Gigi's request and decides to let the evil eye stay, treating it like part of the family. However, Era isn't happy. She calls Gigi selfish for not thinking about how hard it is for her, Momo, and Okarun to constantly keep watch over him. Okarun steps up, saying he's willing to improve himself to help manage the situation. Momo and Era agree to do the same. Although everyone decides to spare the evil eye, Momo is frustrated, especially after seeing how badly her house is damaged from the evil eye's rampage. While Gigi starts training with Seiko to control the evil eye, Momo takes it upon herself to fix the house. She gets a job as a waitress at Momo Kikaho Cafe. Things get awkward when Miko and Muko show up to tease her while she's working. Momo is embarrassed but powers through. After her shift, Okarun walks her home since she refused to let him stay until she was done. On their way back, trouble strikes again when Gigi accidentally gets splashed by Era's cold drink, triggering the evil eye. Inside its cursed house, Momo faces off with it but manages to save Gigi by spitting out the hot water she was drinking to snap him back to normal. Gigi apologizes to Momo, but Okarun quickly pushes him aside to check if Momo is okay. After everything settles, there's a noticeable tension between Okarun and Gigi, who struggle to talk to each other. Era, on the other hand, feels guilty for causing the whole mess and putting Momo in danger. Okarun wants to get stronger to take on the evil eye, so he asks Mr. Mantis Shrimp for advice on throwing a punch. But Mr. Mantis Shrimp refuses, saying he doesn't believe in violence. Meanwhile, at the Ayase house, Manjiro tries convincing Siko to bring back the Hayashi for another exorcism after what happened the previous day. Siko hesitates, but admits she might not have a choice. While this is happening, Turbo Granny notices Okarun struggling to teach himself how to fight. She decides to help him, offering proper training to control her powers. She takes him to a school, and Era, curious about what's going on, secretly follows them. At the school, Turbo Granny leads them to a music room and explains to Okarun that combat is all about rhythm, especially when using her incredible speed. To teach him, she plays the piano horribly on purpose, summoning the music room portraits as enemies. The music room portraits cast an illusion and start attacking with explosive musical notes. Okarun and Era are forced to fight back. Era manages to dodge the notes with ease, but Okarun struggles. Distracted during the fight, he's hit by a rest symbol which paralyzes him, leaving him vulnerable to the explosive notes. Hearing his frustration, Turbo Granny shouts at him to focus, reminding him that Era can't hold out forever. She tells him to move to the rhythm of a song he knows. Okarun remembers the Heishi music and uses it to guide his movements, dodging the attacks and reaching Era in time to protect her. Working together, they manage to get close to the conductor. Era uses her acrobatic silky hair to grab and defeat it, ending the fight. After Okarun and Era take down the conductor, the music room portraits lose their ability to fly. Instead, they create an illusion of an opera house and summon a chorus army to overwhelm them. Turbo Granny quickly explains that the portraits are hiding behind 4 giants. Acting fast, Era uses her hair to lift herself and Okarun onto one of the giants. She kicks the giant toward the musicians, but the giants react, striking back. Era takes a hard hit but pushes through, fueled by the memory of Momo's struggle with the evil eye. She uses her hair to defeat the giants. Meanwhile, Turbo Granny tells Okarun that her speed allows him to hit 5 notes in one beat. With this tip, Okarun simultaneously attacks all 5 musicians, creating afterimages with each strike. This knocks out the musicians and dispels the opera house illusion, bringing everyone back to the music room. Okarun checks on Era to make sure she's okay and thanks her for her help. Era, unsure why, skips the flattered response she expected to give and instead argues with Turbo Granny, who insists Okarun should be grateful for her training. Okarun thanks Turbo Granny too, but she reminds him he's still far from mastering her powers. When Era asks what the music room portraits were, Turbo Granny explains they're tulpas, creations formed from people's fear of the portraits. Era grows suspicious of Turbo Granny, but Turbo Granny just jokes around. Elsewhere, Manjiro tells Gigi it's impossible for him to control the evil eye and that another exorcism must happen. Outside, Okarun steps up and calls out Gigi, urging him to fight the evil eye. He admits their plan to accept the yokai is strange but admirable and refuses to stay weak while others grow stronger. After hearing this, Siko agrees to let Okarun proceed. Gigi, trusting Okarun, releases the evil eye. With his improved control over Turbo Granny's power, Okarun outmatches the evil eye. He dodges its grudge ball attacks and lands hit after hit, showing how far he's come. After Okarun uses his all-out headbutt as a final move, his transformation ends, leaving him drained. Momo and the others grow worried as the evil eye is still standing, ready to keep fighting. Despite their concerns, Okarun tells them to stay back and declares that the evil eye isn't worth fighting. Annoyed, the evil eye listens as Okarun proposes a deal. They'll fight once a week, but only if the evil eye stops targeting anyone else. Momo doesn't understand what's going on until Turbo Granny explains. Okarun realized earlier that the evil eye acts like a newborn, seeing fighting as a form of playing. His plan is to become the yokai's playmate to keep him under control. However, before agreeing, the evil eye unexpectedly removes his underwear and hands it to Okarun, saying he won't cooperate. Instead, the yokai gives Gigi full control of his body until their next fight, which the evil eye eagerly awaits. When Gigi regains consciousness, Okarun reassures him that no one was harmed while the evil eye had control and that he can go back to his normal life. Gigi standing naked causes Momo, Era, and Hana to look away, while Seiko throws in a lighthearted comment about the situation. With the evil eye under control, Manjiro heads back to his shrine to store the underwear as a cursed object. Before leaving with his parents, Gigi thanks everyone for their support. After Okarun and Era leave, Seiko suggests a visit to a bathhouse with Momo, Turbo Granny, and Hana to relax, choosing to ignore the wreckage of their home for now. On their way back, Momo suggests asking their friends for money to fix the house, but Seiko dismisses the idea. At their entrance, they encounter a mysterious alien and immediately kick him away for trespassing. Soon after, Okarun arrives with Era, Mr. Mantis Shrimp, and Chiquitita. He explains that the alien Ludris is here to repair their house using nanoskin. Though hesitant at first, Seiko eventually accepts their help, allowing Ludris to remodel their home.